So to talk about movie toys. So interesting thing is, even though we have Transformers Studio Series coming in 2018, coming out literally this month and next month is a exclusive to Japan line that's been going on for a while now. It's called Takara Transformers the Movie The Best line. And this line it's been out for about I think almost 2 years now. It's about a year and a half. And the whole purpose of that sub line in Japan is to take previously existing Transformer movie toys from the molds that have existed up to this point and give them the best possible paint scheme to make it accurate. And I mean, now
I want to point out something as well. Conversely, this would be used with, I think, PlayStation in the PlayStation 3 era. The Japanese greatest hits line would be called the best.
okay, yeah,
So I think it's probably very similar to that. Like these are the greatest hits, and we're gonna do it in the best type of coloring repaint we can do, and boom, put them back out for you, kind of thing.
yeah. So and it's funny because two of the members of this line that they're going to be coming out really soon. I almost feel they're almost not necessary with what we know coming in the future. But I'm pretty sure when these ideas were planned, they didn't know maybe that these other things were coming because they were. When you're talking repaints, there's not an engineering period. It's just, hey, we'll just color it this and put it out there. And I think the only delay now is just making packaging. So I think that when they planned some of these, they didn't know what the Studio Series had planned down the line. So, but we'll go through it just quickly. So you got MB12 in the line, which is Autobot Jazz. This Autobot Jazz obviously is they just took the very first deluxe Jazz from the 2007 movie and gave him a really as accurate as it could be paint scheme, which is very similar to, let's say, the Americans' release of the premium Jazz.
Hmm.
But they gave him the weapon that came with Final Battle Jazz, which was more accurate to the weapon that Jazz had in the movie. Because the weapon that came with the original 2007 Jazz was this like telescopic sniper rifle, a
I
baton.
guess I would say sniper
Yeah,
rifle.
I
That's
guess
what I
that's what they
used.
were
That's what I
going
used
for.
to use it as.
So, and again, this I find funny. We're getting this now, and supposedly as of this recording, they're going to start shipping out to Japan. So it's interesting because, you know, with the Jazz that we're getting really soon, that's supposed to be a way better molded sculpt. Who would be buying this?
Yeah.
Knowing like I could understand if Studio Series Jazz was never announced and it wasn't happening, then I could see people buying this because here's your best Jazz of this mold. But now we got a deluxe Jazz coming that's supposed to be everything and better.
Hmm.
Why would anyone buy this? And not to mention the best series ones are a little more expensive than your average, 12.99, 14.99, 19.99 deluxe. It's gonna be a tough pill to swallow.
People that want to show off and be like, I can afford both.
Well,
Suck
that's
it.
that it's like me when it comes to certain hot rod toys that get minor tweaks on different sides of the ocean. So I could see that, if they want to just have a really cool different take on Jazz, like the best possible Jazz it could be of that mold.
Mm.
Like this is of this mold, this is the epitome of it. Then we go to MP13 Bonecrusher, which is he's pretty paint by the numbers. They just took the deluxe Bonecrusher, didn't change anything about it mold wise, just gave him little touches here and there, make him slightly better. Which, in all honesty, isn't much. I own the original Bonecrusher toy, and looking at this one, outside of a few tampographs, a little logo here and there, it's more or less the same toy.
Mm.
So again, that's going to be a little more expensive. The MB14 Megatron, this one confuses me because this toy is not that old in Japan right now.
Pretty
So
new.
the fact that they have the best version, sure, okay. Not much I could say about that really. But to go to
Maybe they have some like leftover ones. They're like, just slap on some new paint,
yeah,
put them out there.
maybe. And then the last one, and it's another one I really wanted to talk about because of the same problem with Jazz, MB15 Lockdown. Now, same thing. We have a Lockdown figure that's going to be coming out with a brand new mold for the Studio Series. I could kind of understand at least a little bit with this one because Lockdown had his original deluxe toy didn't had the face sculpt shown. This one they decided to do a brand new paint scheme, but also give a brand new head, which is with his battle mask down.
Yeah.
So at least you get a different take. You get, okay, this is with the battle mask down. So if you buy this one and then you buy the Studio Series one later, at least the Studio Series one is with the battle mask up and it's a different mold. So you kind of at least get two different things in this case. But that being said, I'm pretty sure uh, this was not planned without, this was planned without knowing what was going on for the future with Studio Series. It's very another weird one that, despite the fact that it exists, we have something down the pipeline that almost 100% will replace it. Although maybe not so much so in this case because of the battle mask. I think the battle mask might be the saving grace for this one.
I don't know. I kind of feel like with this line, it could be that we got all this old stock. Like I said before, we got all this old stock. We really need to pump it out there. It's like, but we got this other thing. It's like, well, if we do this first, at least they'll be out.
You know what? I
You know?
want to believe that, but the thing is, and especially as someone who is a completist, like up until Dark of the Moon, which is so
Which
sad.
broke you.
It's so sad. Like to even say movie completist up until Dark of the Moon is the biggest waste of money ever. But I was. I mean, that jazz mold repainted to death.
Yeah.
You know, that Bonecrusher mold
I think for me, if this jazz mold was like we're gonna do G1 jazz colors again, I would probably pick it up.
Well,
but
that's
I
the
already
crazy
have this
thing. It's
guy.
like you had regular jazz, you had the Target exclusive G1 colored jazz, you had the Final Battle jazz, which was a retool. You had Allspark Attack jazz, which was a Target exclusive also. Then you move on to like, oh, let's just repaint jazz more. So then you had the Premium jazz, which was just taking the 2007 one. They did a repaint of jazz into quote smokescreen, which was just they took the deluxe jazz and gave them, and then that's just the deluxe one. Then you look at all the other jazzes, and they kind of did the same idea with those ones too. So it's a lot of these molds. I mean, withstanding the Megatron, all of these molds at some point got a tweak or a repaint, or the engineering didn't go to waste.
Yeah.
So I think it's more so maybe I have a feeling this line was planned months and months and months and months in advance, but way before the Studio Series was even engineered. And then all this stuff was just ready to go, and then they're like, "Oh, we're already working on another Lockdown." And it's like, "But we already damn." I don't know. It's weird, but I mean, I don't really, all of these releases with the exception of the Lockdown, I don't see really a purpose to own them. The
Yeah.
Jazz especially, the Bonecrusher, I mean, it's not that much better than what we already got in America. Same thing with the Megatron. It's not superbly better than what we already got. The Lockdown's the only one that's like, do you want Battle Mask? Then here you go. It's got a new hat.